Gonzalez.
My name is Lucas Laredo.
And we're here on behalf of the Stanford graphic novel team. We're just going to tell you a little bit about the class and the process and a little bit about the story. So the Stanford graphic novel project, the objective of the class is to tell a story that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to be told. And the class itself is composed of a very diverse group of students ranging from English majors to biology majors, all with the same interest, which is the graphic novel. And everyone researched different stories, and in the end we chose the story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi because everyone was just so excited about it and just excited about the message and really passionate about it.
Right, yeah, so Tsutomu Yamaguchi, he's on the right up there. He is one of the few double bomb survivors, and what a double bomb survivor means is that you are at ground zero at both Hiroshima and at Nagasaki. If you can imagine surviving one atomic bomb, this guy survived two. So we thought that it would be a great story to tell, not only because it's compelling, but also it seemed pertinent just based on the time period we have. You know, there's so much going on with threats of nuclear warfare and the hope for nuclear non-proliferation. We thought it would be a great story to tell.
Yeah, and so one of the challenges that we faced at the beginning was the challenge of depicting such violent and gruesome images. It was definitely daunting for the writers and the artists to tackle such an intense subject. But we found that the graphic novel form was really liberating in a lot of ways, and it allowed us to explore these topics and go beyond the concrete and go into more abstract images and just explore something that in the end was more poetic and beautiful in many ways.
And oftentimes more powerful. I feel like, sure. Oftentimes I feel like we could have just depicted really gruesome images, but something here, and it's going to explain
yeah.
it. It can often be more powerful to do it in sort of a visual metaphor sort of way.
Like in this example, this was an illustration of the second bomb, and we wanted to show the sentiment that the atomic bomb was almost like a sentient being. This is what Mr. Yamaguchi referred to it as. And so we kind of made it into a monster with eyes kind of clawing at Yamaguchi. And so this is just one example of the way we kind of explored this kind of metaphor. And so the class itself was divided into teams of writers, artists, thumbnailers, and then post-production. And everything started with the writers. And we started with a group of 4 writers, and we would just sit together as a team and bounce ideas off of each other and write a scene. And one of the challenges that we faced was trying to find a cohesive voice because it was a group of 4 writers, and at the beginning we were trying to decide what to say and how to say it, and but I think in the end we grew as a team, and we ended up even switching perspectives in one chapter, and we kind of did this seamlessly because we were so in sync. And so after the writers would write a scene, it would go on to the thumbnailers, which you can't really, the image is a little bit unclear here, but this is an example of a thumbnail. And you can kind of think of the thumbnailers as the engineers of the graphic novel, bridging the gap between text and art. And they had a vision, they had the vision for the graphic novel and kind of the overall style. And the writers and the thumbnailers were in conversation with each other, and and if there was ever any discrepancies, we would discuss it with each other. Sometimes
discuss is a nice word.
Yeah. Sometimes we would have a thumbnailer sit in with the writers, and while the writers were discussing a scene, the thumbnailer would sketch it on a whiteboard and kind of give the writers an idea of what it would look like visually.
Right, so after the thumbnailers, we would give the thumbnailers to the artist, and he's smiling here, but I can guarantee you that he's probably crying a little on the inside with how much work he has to do. But we give it to the artists, and you get a page like this. And we worked with such an incredibly talented group of artists. I remember as a writer myself, Anna and I were both on the writing team. At the beginning, it was a little bit frightening, right? You're a writer, you have this vision for what you want the story to be, it's going to be great, and then you have to take that baby and pass it off to someone else, being the thumbnailer, and then that person has to take your baby again and pass it to an artist, and you're just hoping that at the end, your baby is still alive.
But, I mean, it's really a testament to the collaborative process because it really worked so smoothly.
Yeah. And I will say, after we saw the first page that the artist did, all our fears were just dispelled. I mean, this was one of our artists, Lauren, did this, and she was so incredibly talented. But after we had the artwork on Bristol board, we had to make it into a digital format so we could send it to the publishers. So what we would do next is put it in the computer, do some photoshopping and stuff. It hasn't turned out well here, but as you can see, we have caption. Can you go back a couple? Okay, well maybe this is the next one. Anyway, so we put into the computer, we put in the captions, and this is finally where the word and the image is synthesized, and we have the what would normally be the final product. And I will say, oh great, well this has color in it. But so after we had the artwork and the text laid down, that could have been the end, and normally for the Stanford graphic novel project it is.
But this year we decided to go a step further and add color the last week. Bear in mind that we were doing this over the span of 3 months.
Yeah. All of this in 3 months.
Also, we're Stanford students, so we were taking classes, and we actually added color like during finals week.
Yeah, I mean, so our book was due to the publishers on Monday, and the Friday before we said, hey, let's do color. That'd be great, right? And so it's kind of hard to see, but we chose a yellow, and it was really nice, really versatile.
Yeah.
You can see it better here, but it just added such a dimension and such a, for instance, scenes after the bomb blast. Tsutomu Yamaguchi always talked about the yellow dust that fell after the bomb blasts. But at the same time, you could have a happier scene and use the yellow to your advantage in that way. And so in one weekend, 4 colorists colored 192 pages, which was quite a feat. And I think that's just a testament to how devoted everyone in the class was to the project and how much love we had for the story and for Yamaguchi.
Yeah, and after spending so much time and energy on the graphic novel, I know all of the students are really excited to know that it has reached the hands of people in Japan, and that even a man who works for the National Memorial Peace Museum in Nagasaki is interested in using the text to promote international peace, which is something that just goes in line with the objective of the class, and it's just so satisfying. As undergraduate students, I mean, it's pretty amazing to know that we've worked on something that has an impact and has relevance today.
And I mean, that's exactly what we wanted when we started out, right? To get this in the hands of people who can make a difference, that want to be educated. But on top of that, with just a little bit of icing on the cake, we sent the book to Tsutomu Yamaguchi's daughter, and she read it and she loved it. And for us, that is sort of the only reward that we needed for all of those countless hours spent on weekends when we had other things we had to do. Just knowing that Tsutomu's daughter enjoyed the book was all we needed.
Yeah, and we just like to thank instructors Adam Johnson,
who's here in the crowd right here,
yes,
Adam Johnson,
and Tom Keeley and Dan Archer for giving us this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you guys more about the book, the process, Tsutomu, anything you'd like will be outside afterwards. So thank you very much.
Thank you.